Hi, this is Shupriyo, and in the last video I talked to you about all the tax slabs that had changed, and I also told you about the fiscal deficit numbers. So in this video I am going to give you an overview of the important numbers in the budget, specifically all the allocations. Now please remember, I'll be making a full video on the budget later on, so if you want to watch that, please subscribe to this channel. Let's get down to the numbers. So few numbers that are very important to remember from this budget. Some of them are that our debt to GDP ratio. So the debt to GDP ratio of India in 2019, it has reached 48.7% of GDP. It was earlier 52% of GDP. So we have decreased the debt to quite a less amount, and this is the central government debt to GDP. Another thing that is very important, and this the finance minister specifically mentioned, is that from 2014 to 2019 our average GDP growth was 7.4%, and the inflation hovered at an average of 4.5%. Now, before we go into the other numbers, remember that there were three themes in this budget. First was aspirational India, the second was economic development, and the third was caring society. So these three were the central themes. Now getting into the numbers, so the milk processing capabilities. So India is actually targeting to double its milk processing capabilities. Currently we are at 53.5 million tons, and we want to get to 108 million tons by the end of financial year 2021. So all of the figures that I am going to tell you, these are all budget figures for financial year 2020-2021. So this is the figure that government wants to achieve in all of these sectors. So the agricultural credit target, it has been set at 15 lakh crore rupees. This is up from 12 lakh crore rupees. And the fish production target, it has been given at 200 lakh tons. And you must remember all of these figures, because these figures are especially asked in many exams and in the GA sections. So please, as I am speaking these figures, please note them down, because it is going to help you a lot. So the next figure is the target for the agricultural sector, the agricultural and the irrigation sector. The target is 2.83 lakh crore. The next target is for rural development or the Panchayat Ministry. This target has been set at 1.23 lakh crore. The next thing is the open defecation free and the Swachh Bharat mission. So for the Swachh Bharat mission, the allocation is 12,300 crores. Then we have the Jal Jeevan mission. For that, the allocation is 3.6 lakh crore. Then we have the health sector. So for the total health sector, the allocation made is 69,000 crore rupees. And then we have the education sector. So for the education sector, the total allocation is rupees 99,300 crores. After that, we have the skill development sector. So this is actually a sub part of the education sector. So out of the 99,300 crores which is allocated for education, we have an allocation of 3,000 crore just for skill development. So remember that. And another thing you must remember is that 150 higher education institutes will be offering apprentice diplomas by March 2021. So that's all about those figures. And then we have the National Textile Mission. The budgeted figure for that is rupees 1,480 crores. Then we have for the budget for the development of industry and commerce. So for that, the target is 27,300 crores. Then we have the doubling of the milk processing, and I already talked to you about it. So the doubling of the milk processing, the figure that I told you, 108 million tons, that has to be achieved by 2025. Then we have the national infrastructure pipeline. So for infrastructure, the total projects, we already knew this figure, 103 lakh crore, and this is actually the total figure for 6,500 projects, and out of this 22,000 crore government has already provided out of that 103 lakh crore. Now we come to the allocation for the roads and the highways. So for accessible highways, we need to have 2,500 kilometers of accessible highways. We need to have 9,000 kilometers of economic corridors. we need to have coastal roads of 2000 kilometers, and the target for the strategic highways, it has been fixed at 2000 kilometers. And another thing that the government mentioned is that they will be monetizing 12 lots of highway bundles of 6000 kilometer by 2024. We also have the allocation for the Bangalore suburban transportation project, which stands at rupees 18,600 crores. And for this project, 20% of the equity is going to be given by the center. And we also have the target for the transportation infrastructure, which stands at a total of 1.7 lakh crore. And another thing is that the government is planning to build 100 more airports by 2024 to support the Udan mission, that the government has. And they are also saying that the air fleet number, it will be increased from 600 to 1200. Now we come to the renewables and the power sector. So the target for power and renewables stands at rupees 22,000 crore. Then we have the target for the gas grid. So the gas grid currently covers around 16,200 kilometers in India. It is proposed to increase this to 27,000 kilometers. And then we have the allocation for BharatNet. So for BharatNet, a total of 6,000 crore has been allocated. And you have to also remember that 1 lakh gram panchayats are going to be linked to BharatNet. And this is very important because of the other developments that the government wants to make in the agri sector. And India will actually be targeting to become the third biggest country in quantum computing as well. So there will be a new policy to build data center parks in our country as well. And now going to the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao mission, actually you have to note that the girl educational enrollment is much higher than the boys, and there are actually quite a few sub figures on this. So it's not important to remember all of those things. You have to remember about the quantum computing that I talked to you about. So the national mission on quantum technology, for that 8,000 crore has been allocated, and this has been allocated for 5 years. So from now it will be 8,000 crores for a period of 5 years. And then we have the allocation for nutrition programs. For that 35,600 crore has been allocated. Then we have the allocation for the scheduled tribes. So for that the allocation is 53,700 crores. Then we have the allocation for women-centric programs, which stands at 28,600 crores. Then we have the allocation for scheduled castes and OBCs, SC and OBCs. So this stands at rupees 85,000 crores. And also remember that 5 archaeological sites are going to be designated as iconic sites. So that is very important to remember as well. Now the allocation for senior citizens and handicapped, that stands at 9,500 crore rupees. And the allocation for Ministry of Culture, it stands at 3,100 crore rupees. Then the allocation for tourism promotion, it stands at 2,500 crore rupees. And the allocation for clean air, which will be given to the states. So basically the states are going to be incentivized if they are doing good, and if they have a population of more than 1 million, government is going to incentivize them, and for that the total allocation is 4,400 crores. So that is all about those things. And the other thing is India will be hosting the G20 presidency in 2022, and it's going to be the 75th anniversary of our independence. It's a special occasion, and for that the government has allocated 100 crore rupees. Another important allocation is for the union territories. So as you know, we had the new formation of the new union territories. So the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir has received 30,757 crore rupees. The union territory of Ladakh has been given 5,958 crore rupees. So that is all about the allocations, most of them. And you also have to remember that the DICGC target, the Deposit Insurance Credit Guarantee Corporation of India. So this target, basically it's not a target, it's the limit. So up until now we had insurance of 1 lakh rupees. Now that has been increased to 5 lakh rupees. This was a huge news, because this 1 lakh has not been revised for a long amount of time. I think think since the 80s or 90s it used to be 1 lakh. So this is a huge news. And apart from that, there are few other things. I have talked to you about the fiscal deficit numbers. You already know that from the last video. And you also must remember the total expenditure figure of the government of India. So the total expenditure stands at 30.42 lakh crore, and the total receipts of the government stand at 22.46 lakh crore. So this is very important. And I talked to you about the tax slabs and about the DDT abolishment. That also I told you about. There has been extremely good news about startups, because now the turnover limit, which was 25 crores, it has now been increased to 100 crores, and they will also be getting more number of years. So now till 10 years they can get a tax holiday of 3 years. So earlier it used to be that you could avail of 3 years of 100% tax exemption as a startup for 7 years of your operation. Now it has been increased to 10 years. So basically for 10 years, since the startup goes online, it can take any 3 years and it can get 100% tax exemption. So that is also very important. And there are various other things, like another important thing, which is the divestment target. Now this also links with the government's plans for a LIC IPO. This is a huge news. So Life Insurance Corporation of India is going to get an IPO, and I think that is why they have increased the divestment target. They have actually effectively doubled it, because last year the investment in the target for divestment was 1.05 lakh crore. This year the divestment target has been set at 2.1 lakh crore. So that's all about the allocations, and most of it I have already covered. And this is all for this video, and I'll bring you a detailed video about the entire budget. So if you like this video, please like it, and if you want to see that video, please subscribe and follow me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.